And this was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Boy. And then her friends live next door. I'm like, yeah, you tell them. You tell them. One of her friends was fine as hell too. Anyway. So
be like Shay Sharp, pop me one of these diamonds.
Boy, let me tell you.
Had like 1:45.
Man.
Nightcap is the best
And
shit on
then
YouTube.
she was a. So you said about Martin.
Martin Luther King's contributions to the black community and the country as a whole are a fact.
Okay. So now, is it confirmed that he cheated on his wife?
I personally do not know.
Okay.
I'm sure Coretta could tell you, but where's she at?
That's a good question. Where is she? Is she still
She's
alive?
the same place he at, huh?
Cooked.
No.
Wow.
All right.
Well, that's wild. Left undelivered.
Them bubbles just went green.
Hey, you know what? My phone died.
Look, whoever.
So,
Right along with me.
Let me not go to hell.
so listen.
I'm going.
So listen.
Gasoline trials.
My point being, it's a fact that no matter how you may feel about Martin, what he did for black people is incalculable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Elijah Muhammad. Remember, they were saying he had all these illegitimate kids and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he did a lot of stuff. Him and the black Muslims, the Nation of Islam,
Mm-hmm.
did a lot for black people. But the reason that shit even came up was because I have another video. Speaking of Elijah Muhammad, this is Malcolm X on a show talking about how they were using black celebrities back then.
They had shows back then?
You are
I'm
disgusting.
talking shit, cuz.
Yes, they did, brother.
They had TV.
They had TV, Technicolor.
Television.
But I'm finna play this little video. I just want y'all opinion on it.
That they called leaders. This included Lena Horne. This included Dick Gregory. And this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Basically, he's saying we don't need to be looking to these motherfuckers for leadership.
He's right though. Like, obviously, he's right in the sense that those people don't necessarily look to be those people. Like
Some of them do.
Like people used to get on Drake because he don't speak about social shit.
They still get
It's
on
not
him.
his responsibility to.
They get on DJ Khaled now because of the shit that's going on over there.
Like, what the fuck is DJ Khaled
What
supposed to say?
DJ Khaled do?
He's,
I haven't heard anybody ever talk about DJ Khaled since since Major Key or whatever.
DJ Khaled ain't black.
Right? He like Middle Eastern or some shit.
Correct.
But you know they got the shit
But
going on.
they got the shit going on over there in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
They expect him
To have an opinion.
To have an opinion on that because he is of that ethnicity. He may not even be fucking Palestinian.
I don't think he is, but I don't know.
But because he's brown in that manner, they think that he should be a voice for them.
But you know why?
Which is stupid.
But you know why they think that?
Why?
Because anytime we have a black social issue, you will have the occasional artist, rapper, whatever, speak on it. It might be just brief or it might just be their opinion, but they'll speak on it. But like that's why people think that. And I'm not saying it's right.
Okay, Kendrick Lamar is a conscious rapper, right?
Yeah.
His song N95, right? He was encouraging niggas to take their masks off. Is that some leadership that we need to be following in the middle of a pandemic?
It depends.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
It depends on how you view the pandemic.
Oh my God.
No. And the reason I say that because I feel like a lot of information about the pandemic was to scare the public. Now, I do believe the virus was real because I had it twice. Or what they said.
I had it myself, brother.
They said I had it twice. Whatever. And I felt bad. So I had something. And I do feel like I see where he coming from. I don't necessarily fully agree, but I see where he coming from.
I just don't think that we should be looking at not necessarily those people specifically, but all of them. Like if Kendrick Lamar says he's a social justice warrior and Kendrick Lamar goes out in public and says, this is the thing that I want to promote, and he makes sense about it, then sure, just because he's a musician doesn't mean that we don't discredit his words. But if we're looking at a person who we know for a fact doesn't get into those things, why are we looking at them as a type? Why are we giving them or making them responsible for speaking on those things when they've never done that before?
Yeah. But you know why? I think the reason why us as blacks, I can't speak for any other race, look towards those people because those people are so influential. And if their thoughts is along the lines of the masses' thoughts or their thoughts is directly aligned with positive change, we know that someone like a Beyonce can promote more change than someone named Susie that we don't know. But she might have the exact same thoughts as Susie, but use Beyonce as a vessel. So I think that's why us as a black community look towards these big people. We conditioned to it. And two, it could make change if it's done right, I think.
Absolutely.
But
But
it ain't
Muhammad
done right.
Ali put himself in that. Red Fox put himself in that to be a person that speaks on those type of things.
Yeah.
LeBron, Drake, Beyonce, none of them niggas are trying to put themselves in a position.
But you know why? Because they didn't grow up in those times.
They didn't. Exactly.
So we can't expect them to be like a Muhammad Ali. I don't expect them to be like that. Like the social issues that we face as a black community don't always directly affect the rich black people.
Right. And let's get serious about Muhammad Ali. He was an athlete. He was rich. He was a human. You think Muhammad Ali didn't fuck nobody? You think Muhammad Ali wasn't out here in the streets?
I think the only difference between Muhammad Ali and the athletes now is the fact that because did he go to jail because he didn't want to get drafted?
Mm-hmm.
So like he was directly impacted. Well, I think that was just some shit that was the United States doing anyway with the draft and shit. But he was directly affected. Like he saw the shit. But a nigga like LeBron ain't never seen segregation. Ain't never experienced Jim
it.
Crow. So like he wants.
Now he's been impoverished, obviously, because growing up he was impoverished.
But that's cool.
But
I mean, when I say cool,
he became a millionaire out overnight at 18. So he, for the majority of his life, he hasn't had to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
Like there was a thing that says, you know, MLK preached this nonviolence thing, which is what he did when the sun was up. There are things that said MLK, you know, you step on his yard with that bullshit and he gonna show you something to protect his family.
Yeah.
Does that make it nonviolent? No, but you're not gonna like. I don't want this fighting, but if I got to fight, God damn it, I will. And that's the difference between him and MLK. I mean, him and Malcolm X. Malcolm X was like, we need to get these niggas any way we can.
Yeah.
MLK said we should do it this way. They just had a difference in ideals, but when it came to protecting their community, they was about the same. They was on the same page.
Yeah.
But because black people are so focused on your image as opposed to your message and what you do, we look to tell you that you're not about what you preach because you're human and you may have slipped up or made a mistake as humans do.
Yeah.
I done made a couple mistakes in my life, but
I definitely have.
But
a lot.
that does not mean that I am not about my business. Like, it's so weird how black people do that to each other. Like, it's like the thing, like, there's a stigma about HBCUs and their financial aid departments. About the robbery that happens in there. And nobody says anything because we do that to ourselves. Like, you think NHL give a goddamn if black people are stealing from black people in their financial aid departments?
Yeah.
Ask Buddy from Howard who got away with them that 5 figures. Where he at?
He was doing that to help other motherfuckers. Wasn't
It don't matter if you robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're doing it to your own community.
Or is it that John robbed Peter and I'm robbing John to give Paul his money back? Peter, whatever names.
However you want to flip it, you were taking from a black community and maybe giving it to some other part of the black community, but you're
still stealing.
Right, you're still stealing from you're still stealing from people that look like you.
I got you. Robin Hood and shit. So, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with this one. But why aren't our black leaders today as visible?
Well, I think John hit that. I think John hit that on the
They
head.
ain't go through it.
Yeah, they didn't. You don't experience.
Yeah,
that.
like it's the only thing they can speak on is what we see now. So like police brutality, we see it happen with the body cam footage and all that. But
yeah, those people that we're looking for to be black leaders, they don't experience that. They haven't seen that. I mean, they've seen it, but they don't experience it.
So basically, like back in the 60s on back, everybody in the black community damn near was going through that shit.
Right.
So
Didn't matter who you were.
Everybody had that experience,
Right.
except as opposed to today, where it's kind of
MLK got arrested for loitering, walking on the fucking sidewalk.
yeah.
and he was who he was when he got arrested.
Yeah. Okay.
LeBron ain't getting arrested for walking on the fucking sidewalk.
or even if you think about even some of the black athletes that kind of transcended, the sports and all that stuff, they still got treated like niggas.
Right.
Now
you still had to go in the
every
back
now
of
and then you will see a story of a rich black person getting treated like a nigga every now and then.
Right. Muhammad Ali still had to go in the back if he wanted to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Like, these people that we look to be our figures, they're not on the ground with us. And to no fault of their own. You did what you needed to do to be successful for your own family. But there's no way I can condemn you for not understanding my struggle if you haven't gone through it. You black, you look like me, sure, but
you ain't seen what I seen.
right, you ain't seen what I seen. You haven't done what I done.
South. So with that being said, with the black community not having those shared experiences like they did back in the day, why do we still look to these certain types of people, these celebrities, as our leaders, and we kind of stirred away from those like religious leaders?
I think it's conditioned, and I think we in the day of social media, like popularity rules pretty much everything. Right. So it's like we've been, because even back then, like you might have some people behind the scenes other than Martin Luther King that was doing just as much work, but didn't get the publicity.
Mm-hmm. Uncle Ben said, "With great power."
That's why.
Tell me why.
With great power comes great
responsibility. I immediately thought, right?
Who you telling?
Until you said that, I was like,
with with great power comes great responsibility. And people assume that because you are a popular person means that you're a powerful person. Now, LeBron is a powerful person, but is he powerful in the sense to be the person that we want him to be? No. Like, LeBron is a billionaire. That nigga ain't a mover and a shaker in the government.
Yeah.
because like these people of status come with so much influence. Influence is power. So
Right.
I feel like that's another reason why we view it, because influence is powers. Like if LeBron feel a certain way or Beyonce feel a certain way about something, they have such a massive fan base.
If it really worked like that, it'll be more niggas that was president. Kanye would be fucking president. But if your status as an artist,
we still a minority. So
Yeah, we
regard,
probably gonna forever be a minority here.
so even if we're a minority, it's still ain't gonna. We can't make change in regards
you don't think
to.
white people listen to Kanye?
But they can listen to him, but they ain't finna go to the polls and vote for him.
You don't think motherfuckers listening to okay.
They not finna go to the poll and vote for him.
Nigga said beggars can't be choosers, bitch. This ain't Chipotle.
Man, listen. So
That was gross.
you mentioned conditioning, right? One thing that I think that has been conditioned in black people, and y'all tell me if y'all agree or disagree, is an inferiority complex.
Yes.
And I feel like that complex, that thought process is part of the reason why, although we are a big minority, big meaning
The biggest of the smallest.
Yeah.
that's not what I meant.
15% of the country. We are the largest minority in the country. Like,
Are we?
yeah, 15% of the country.
Well, tell us what you meant, because I don't know what you meant.
What I meant was we're a minority, but it's a big gap between, it's not a 49%, 51%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a big gap between us and the next group.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, white.
Yeah.
So with that conditioning, or better yet, how much do you think that conditioning and that thought process, that inferiority complex, has allowed us to hold ourselves back?
Ooh.
Meaning that, people think that, well, we're not going to get this shit done anyway, so we're not even going to try.
That's could be one thing, yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with moving forward. Like, I think black people have an objectively pessimistic view of their capabilities because we're a minority, which makes sense because the powers that be work against you. That doesn't mean that you still cannot get to where you think that you could get to, because at the end of the day, the country itself, no matter what you look like, we about that bottom line. It's about making money.
About that green, yeah.
So it don't matter what the fuck you do. If you're making money, then the country is going to put itself behind you in a certain way to make sure that ensures that you still make money. So the idea of these barriers exists, but you can't get in your own way because you know those barriers exist. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Like, yeah, you got hurdles, nigga, but ain't no person that runs hurdles ever been scared of the fucking hurdles.
Yeah.
You just gotta
go ahead.
You just gotta jump them.
I was gonna go to my next thing. Go ahead.
To piggyback off what he said, even when it comes to just black and white, like, I feel like I can speak for myself. It's been times where I feel like if it's a black person and a white person competing for this position, the white person has a greater chance. Thus, I feel inferior to that person because of their race, not because of their talents or what they bring to the table, none of that stuff, but just because the color of their skin. So I do fully agree that us as blacks typically think pessimistic. We typically want to be I don't even want to say this, the victim.
Right.
Like, we have a victim complex.
We're okay with saying we didn't get this because of this.
And not say
and blaming it on most of the time a white person.
Right.
and not to take away from the injustices that we go through, because we definitely go through them, but we have to realize that we have to, when the injustice come, that's when we focus on fixing it as opposed to worrying about, am I going to be last in this, or am I not going to be considered for this because of my color? You know, we automatically think it because of the actions that have happened to us, but then we've taken it everyday life. And I think that's where blacks need to draw the line, taking it into everyday life that don't necessarily correlate with social injustice.
So here's the other side of my initial question. We have that inferiority complex. We know generally our history in this country, right? So does the rest of the people in this country, the other races in this country, know or have an idea of what we've been through. So when you have well, let me say this. Some people think that our history not only has developed a inferiority complex in us, but the other races or the powers that be, as some people put it, have this thing where they feel sorry for us, for black people. So then you have stuff like affirmative action. You have stuff like mandatory quotas, as opposed, and when it comes to diversity in different spaces. So sometimes when you have those different policies, you may go with a black person, say a job, or somebody trying to go to college. You may pick a black person who is not as qualified as a white person, Asian person, whatever, or just not, or even another black person, but because you feel sorry for them, society-wise, you still put them in that position, and then they still underperform, or they still not what you need. They don't give you what you need out of them, which still holds you back or holds them back.
Yeah. That's like the not necessarily saying that, they have to do this, but that's why the Rooney Rule was implemented in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You have to interview at least one minority candidate. Now, you don't have to hire that person,
right? But
you have to allow them the chance to interview for that job.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I think that equality of opportunity is what we want, but people want to also be represented. Mm-hmm. Equality of representation and equality of opportunity are not the same. We all want the chance that someone else that doesn't look like us has to have this thing.
Right.
But we're fighting for inclusion because we want to be seen, not because we fit that description. It's the same thing with black people. It's the same thing with Mexican people, Asians, women. People think that a 50% workforce in every job out there. Like, how would you feel if you found out? It's the same thing, like, how would you feel about there being a man in a daycare center?
Right.
Most people will be off put by that.
Right.
The same way.
The Office, because they kind of did that thing about that. Go ahead.
The same way that, some people will feel away if they found out Tammy built a house. Like, is it structurally sound? Because
Jamie Foxx talked about that on Joe Rogan. He was like, when we see when you flying and you see a black pilot, niggas all in the cockpit like, hey bro, how many hours you got?
Right. Like, we doubt that man because he's black.
Motherfuckers hit any type of turbulence. They're like, hey, we good? We straight?
Right.
But you see a white dude in there, an older white dude.
Yeah.
You like, oh, we straight.
Mind you,
this bitch through a hurricane. We straight.
But that's so indicative of the narrative, because Sully, the movie that Tom Hanks did, where he saved a bunch of people, is looked at very differently than the movie Flight that Denzel did. Now he saved a bunch of people. One person died on his whole flight.
Yep.
And he was intoxicated, yada yada yada, all that other shit. But
And
those
still made it through.
And still made it through. But those movies are looked at very differently because of who's behind the cockpit. Like Sully is a fucking hero. He landed a plane in the fucking river. Great. Right?
Yeah.
Denzel did the same shit with the fatality of except one person, including himself.
And in the movie, he flew that bitch upside down.
And he flew that bitch upside down.
Yeah.
He did way more impressive shit.
Yeah.
Objectively speaking.
Yeah.
And they looked at totally different. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Equality of opportunity. We want the same chance to be represented. But that's what I think that we should look at, equality of opportunity. People are looking at just the numbers perspective. Like if there's 25% of black people in the country, that means there should be 25% of black people that occupy everything else. If there's 2% of Asian people, then that means if you work at a company with 100 employees, then 2% of them should be Asian, despite how good they are with their job. You got to fill that quota. And that's what makes things right. And I don't believe that. Like I want the most capable people.
Right. Right.
And call me elitist if you want, but I need people that are good at their jobs.
Yeah.
I don't need people that look the part.
Jones. So I'm gonna put a bow on that before I go into the video. I have another video. In the early days of the Tiger Talk podcast, shout out to the Tiger Talk podcast.
Shout out Tiger Talk.
They were talking about, and I think this was right when Dion got hired. He started bringing in some of them recruits. They was talking about I hope I'm saying this right. The bias of low expectation. So a problem with like HBCUs and lower level schools when it comes to recruiting is when you have say like football, when you have like a 4 or 5 star nigga in your area, we have 4 or 5 star niggas coming out of Jackson every now and then, dandy dozens and shit.
Yeah.
A school like Jackson State or Alcorn would automatically think, oh, we can't even get that nigga. He too big for us. So then we go for the 1, 2, 3 star,
yeah.
the JUCO nigga who still kind of struggling, but he might got
who
potential.
nice a little bit.
Yeah, we go for them niggas because we don't even think we can get the big time player.
Right.
But then when you ask a lot of big time players from certain cities why they didn't go to their local school, they like
They didn't go get them.
They didn't recruit me.
They didn't call me.
It's some niggas who from Jackson or from Mississippi or from the metro area. And they be like,
State.
why you ain't go to Jackson State? Like, they didn't recruit
Jackson
me.
State.
But they got recruited by Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU. all these other
Jackson
motherfuckers.
State didn't call DeVille.
And
he
I
went up to
know
Mississippi-
people watching like, who the fuck is DeVille?
He
Like,
went up to Mississippi State.
You gotta. That's a if you know you know. That's some Callaway shit. Go ahead.
Jackson State didn't call DeVille.
Right.
This is the time where Callaway won 4 out of the last 5 basketball state championships.
They were 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6.
Well,
I'm gonna say 4 out of 5
DeVille
because
was gone by
yeah,
then.
I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 because
that was when Malik came in.
yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't call him because of he was Jackson. I mean, Callaway had what fucking 3 of the fucking dandy dozen.
Listen,
We didn't call any of them.
one thing that we've talked about: Mississippi is a football state, but Jackson is a basketball city.
Yeah, Murrah, Lanier,
Callaway, Provine,
yeah,
Wingfield on
yeah.
occasion, Forest Hill on occasion,
Yeah,
Jim Hill on occasion.
Jim Hill is gross.
Jim Hill got some rings.
I know, but yeah, it's Jim Hill still.
Don't do that. my hierarchy is Callaway, Jim Hill, everybody else.
I would have took Wingfield. I would have took Lanier. I would have took Lanier. I would have took Lanier over Murrah.
As far as what?
Basketball.
See, I wasn't necessarily talking about basketball. I was just talking about schools that I fuck with.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Like all my life, I just knew I was going to Jim Hill.
You're
But
gross.
then-
Because you went to Blackburn, huh?
Not, I went to Blackburn only 1 year.
Oh.
But
36-6,
my daddy,
all white.
My daddy, yes sir. My daddy coached basketball at Jim Hill. My auntie and uncle Jim Hill. You know, I always go to their football games. My granddad was the trainer. I was just connected with Jim Hill. I just knew I was going to Jim Hill.
Yeah.
My mom worked at Callaway. And she was like, and I lived with her. So she was like, no, nigga, you going to Callaway. But then once Coach Jones got over there, who used to coach at Jim Hill,
He was good.
because there was nothing. I wanted to play for Coach Jones,
Yeah.
but he was like, he went to Columbus and like a bunch of other places. But then they was like, Coach Jones coming to Callaway, and my mom was like, "You going to Callaway?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, fuck all that."
But to your point,
that's where I'm going.
to your
For
point
sure.
about low expectations, you know, I think that the thing that Dion did he's not of the culture,
Right.
so he wouldn't know about that low expectation.
We say of the HBCU coach.
Yeah, of the HBCU culture. So he wouldn't know about that.
Right.
So he did what he should do as a recruiting coach
And just went and got
and
what
just
he
went
wanted.
and called niggas.
Yeah.
Like you said, we don't do that here because, you know, it's not that black players don't want to come to their black schools. We don't incentivize them to. We don't call them because we've already made up, like you said, we've already made up our minds that they're going somewhere to a machine. We think that they're going to Alabama. We think that they're going to Oregon. We think that they're going to Florida. So we don't even allow them the opportunity to come and be with people that look like them. And if you ask me, that should be the selling point right now. You around other people that look like you.
So I'm gonna say this last thing about Dion, then I'm gonna get into the video.
Because fuck these.
Allegedly, when Dion was coming out of high school, his first wife went to FAMU. You know, Florida State and FAMU both in Tallahassee. They're like right by each other, apparently. According to something that I saw when he got hired, he wanted to go to FAMU or to HBCU, but he didn't think that he could sell the primetime character as
Properly
well
at FAMU.
as
FAMU.
at FAMU as he could at Florida State. Because Florida State getting the TV time, it's big time college football, all that shit. He couldn't sell the primetime character to get to the pros as well at that time.
Right.
If he'd went to a FAMU.
Yeah. And I agree, and I can agree with that. I can only agree with that because
Let me put a bow on it.
Go ahead.
But because he made that choice to go to FAMU, I agree. He's not part of the culture. He ain't swag. Go ahead.
He's not.
I wish James was here because he would have had the whole thing. But go ahead.
He ain't swag. He ain't HBCU.
Right.
But I'm not gonna tell him that he's wrong for going that way because, you know, the majority would literally rule in that fashion. He didn't even go to a prominent football program in the country. He went to a prominent football program in Florida. Like,
What?
get real about Florida.
Florida. It's Florida for one.
footballs.
Florida's a football state.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
It is.
Florida State.
If not
Florida,
number one.
All the Florida schools are football schools.
How well do they compete nationally?
Florida State undefeated. Right now, today is undefeated.
Gators got hella rings, and,
They
and
won-
the Seminoles is
Florida State
known.
won a ring in
The Seminoles is
20 whatever that year was with Jameis Winston. Charlie Ward, Heisman winner, won a championship. Then got drafted to the NBA. Florida State is a football school, nigga.
I'm not saying that I disagree.
You just said that they wasn't a prominent school.
I'm talking about in terms of in their conference. How well do they do? How well do they do in comparison to other conferences that are actually
throughout history.
Historically, Florida State is consistently a top football school.
okay?
Matter of fact, the big Florida State, Miami are consistently. Well, Miami kind of fell off, but like historically, those are top football programs.
Okay. So-
you go there to play football, except for Florida, who good
Right.
at football and basketball.
So he's right. So he's right that if he wanted to brand himself, he would then go to one of those Power Fives.
right,
But if But in my mind, that means you doubting your talent.
But see,
because if you were as good as you said you were, which we all know that you were, you could have done that and you could have been that wherever you went.
So look, if he was it's also a position. If he was a quarterback, running back, linebacker, maybe, then I would agree with you. You were a corner in the 80s. At that time, corners wasn't looked at as like vital parts or of the team. So it's gonna be way much harder.
But the nigga went to the NFL and did all three of those things.
All three of what things?
Corner.
He played corner, yes.
Running back.
And he played running back.
He didn't play running back.
NFL. He was
not running back, but receiver.
He did kick and punt return, and then a couple times they put him at receiver.
Okay.
But he wasn't listed as a receiver.
Okay.
His position is corner, punt and kick return.
Okay.
So
occasionally receiver.
At a Florida State as opposed to a FAMU in the 80s, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need that extra level of exposure. You need that extra level of competition. If you finna try to go to the league and make $1 million, which was big at the time, then yes. Which
is why which kind of rounds back to my equality of opportunity statement. If HBCUs had the opportunity to get the same looks as those schools, mm-hmm. Black people of that caliber would come more because they wouldn't have to go as far.
But that's if.
Right.
Because we talking about the NFL, you talking about white owners.
If Malik and DeVille was at Jackson State together.
You talking about white general managers, white NFL commissioner.
Right. Who went to these schools.
Who went to these schools and then have biased notions of HBCU football compared to
Power
Division
1A
Power 5 football. Yeah. At that time, you in the 80s, you're not that far removed from civil rights.
Right.
You're not that far removed from
you 20 years off.
Exactly. So, it's a different situation.
And Jerry Jones been there for a while.
But I'm finna play this video. This is, I forgot this light-skinned chick name, but it's mainly Candace Owens talking about what I mentioned. We're talking about other cultures feeling sorry for Black people.
It seems that with affirmative action, we care about Black students, we care about Hispanic students. These are the minorities who are going to benefit from this, and Native Americans. But the through line is not necessarily socioeconomic status. It doesn't seem to be resources. It seems to be that these are the minority groups that we feel bad for. We don't feel bad for Asian Americans because they have a culture of high academic standing. They have a culture of drive and of facing adversity. We look at Black students and Hispanic students and Native American students.
We are inferior,
and we pity them.
That's what makes my blood boil. I mean, it's just, I am not less than you because you are white. I don't need you to look at me and feel bad for me because of the color of my skin. And that's effectively what you're doing every time you take an application. You say, oh, well, this girl's Black, so I kind of feel bad for her, so I'm going to put her at the top of a line. It's just not necessary. I believe, right, that Black Americans are capable of performing in the same capacity as their white peers. You two don't actually believe that, because if you support affirmative action, you are basically saying that Black Americans cannot do it on their own.
Have also, she's right. Let's Candace Owens, because she's married to a white man, which people think discredits her from her opinion because she's married to a white person.
White, and I think she was a Trump supporter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she's right, because Black people have leaned into that narrative that we can't do it by ourselves. And objectively speaking, some things can't happen by ourselves. We don't get Barack Obama by ourselves. But you can't continue to lean into that because you then have bought into complacency and have killed your own ambition because you don't think you're going to get very far. Like, I agree. there are challenges that this minority has to face that other minorities don't. But you can't leave it at that and say, oh, well, I'm a nigga. It ain't gonna happen for me. Because you are then not even trying.
You also can't say, I'm a nigga, but I'm gonna get in because affirmative action. I'm gonna get in because they gotta meet that quota.
Jamie Foxx changed his name. He didn't go by his original name when he got on.
Right.
Nigga's real name is Bishop.
Eric Bishop.
Eric Bishop.
That wasn't black or white though. That was male female.
Right.
But go ahead.
But even in being male and female,
it's the same concept.
Right, it's the same concept. Because you're a man, you know, this role may not be as available to you.
Yeah.
Because because you may be black. I don't know how many black people are named Jamie. But
decent amount.
But, it's the same thing. If black people were, but let me put the caveat that Jamie Foxx's caveat was different because the actor space is different. But if black people
that was when he changed his name, that was for stand up.
Okay, well, if black people had more confidence in their actual abilities, in the things that they wanted to do, they wouldn't necessarily cry in that manner. And I say cry for lack of a better term. But if you was nice like you said you was, your work should be able to speak.
And if we go taking back to football, they always say, if you can ball, they gonna find you.
Michael Jackson was the first black person on MTV. Period. He was just that nice that people couldn't deny him.
Yeah.
Greatest selling album of all time.
Yeah.
You can't deny it. If you black people have to be more confident in their product. And what I mean by confident, I don't mean selling Alfredo chicken for $35 because you got a grass wall in your restaurant.
With a sign like that.
With a neon sign. Shout out to Jacktown Classix.
Yeah. I'm going to pick the bag up there, but I didn't see the sign.
Confidence in your confidence.
Yeah, I'll ask about 1821 if you know, you know. Go ahead.
Confidence.
Shout out to Louis Lefleur.
Confidence in your ability does not mean selling me a Gildan print t-shirt for $35
that I can make at home.
That I can make at home.
Yeah.
Now, as a person who likes texture and to like who likes to wear things that feel good, I'll pay $27, $30 for a shirt that I know feels good, but the shit also gotta look good.
And you know what? I'm gonna let you finish. I want to give a shout out. Shout out to two companies: Access Sportswear and Privilege BMM. Access Sportswear does a lot of the Jackson State shit.
This is not a sponsor.
And a lot of they kind of are, but they kind of not.
Okay.
A lot of the Jackson State shit and a lot of the new shit I wear is between Access Sportswear and Privilege BMM. Mm-hmm. One does embroidery. One does screen print.
And embroidery is expensive.
But it's high quality screen printing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the shit actually look good. But go ahead.
So
look good and it lasts. Go ahead.
It's about a belief in your ability and a realistic understanding of your market.
Right.
A lot of black people only market to black people.
Urban black people.
Yeah.
Like
I made a post about this a while ago. It got me in some trouble. But I was like, black people, you don't have to only market to black people. Like, you think that these niggas making this S-curl shit are only marketing it to black people? It's a nigga on the box, but you think that they're the only people buying it?
I'm just laughing because I used to have an S-curl. Go ahead.
It was gross, but I'm gonna let you have it.
Whoa, nigga. My curl was nice, nigga. Fuck you talking about?
I'm
Shout out
with
to
you.
Derek on
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people only think that, You know, and that's another thing about low expectations. If you only sell to the people that look like you, then you're almost bound to fail because it's hard to get black people's approval.
Yeah.
You think niggas are gonna buy something, you know, well, they will. But a lot of niggas buy something just because you're black. But if you want a long-lasting product in a business, you gotta market outside of that.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't gonna support you until you make it. Let's be honest. Niggas are only gonna buy the fruits. They're not gonna plant the tree.
But then that's not only your low expectation. That's the black community's low expectation.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, you preaching.
Jones, what you got, man?
You preach.
Thought you was over there asleep for a minute. So, and I know y'all gotta go. So I'm gonna ask this last question.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh. You got that text?
No, the Lakers game.
Oh. So the policies and stuff that have been put in place because of people outside of the black community feeling sorry for us. Things like I said earlier, affirmative action, like Candace Owens said, like the, you know, meeting different, the Rooney Rule, meeting diversity quotas and that type of shit. Do those type of policies and rules hold us back as black people, as a black community?
Yeah. I think mentally, yes, because some people. You turn me back up? Oh, okay. Back to what you were saying earlier. Let me get my thought together. Black people, like I said, black people like to be the underdog, like to play the victim, like to be. I ain't gonna say like to be, but we've conditioned to it, and we like to use it as a crutch. So with certain rules like that in place, I think we do need those rules, but two things can be true. I think we need it because to have the equal opportunity, but I do think it holds us back because some people might be dependent on that opportunity and not have probably put in the work for that opportunity. So yeah,
it's necessary for sure, but there are people that are like, let's say you interviewing for the fucking Chicago Bears job. They're already ass, right? That means because I'm black, I am guaranteed an interview. I could also be ass.
Wait a minute now. That guarantees that a black person
has to be interviewed.
Is guaranteed for the interview.
Yeah. Yeah, not you specifically.
So they're definitely gonna try to get the best black person they can find.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But yeah, like but like you said, there also could be more than one black person. The Rooney Rule says you gotta have one. Not 5, not 10. 1. Just to say, it's like when you work in a minimum wage retail job that offers health insurance, that's $1,500 fucking dollars. They don't offer it to you because they actually want to give it to you. They offer it at that price just to say that they offer it because it's a law to offer health insurance. So it's necessary, but again, it hinders growth because you think that because you are what you are, you automatically qualify for this bar of acceptance. And that's not true. Hence why we got people in Atlanta serving us $45 chicken Alfredo. That's mid. But I'm not going to get into it.
Shout out to Keith.
I was just about to say, shout out to Keith Lee.
And we have that here in Jackson. I'm not going to say no names, but I'm going to give you an initial, JT. Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Johnny T's.
I said I wasn't gonna say no names.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say I wasn't gonna say no names.
But look, black people, we have to do better with our quality, but we also have to do better with our drive and ambition. You know, it's okay to want to be a musician. I'm a musician. It's okay to want to be an actor. It's okay to be an actor. It's okay to want to be an athlete. It's okay to want to do whatever you want if you think that it's going to give you success. But it's not okay to think that the standard for your success is contingent upon a rule that is put in place for the sake of saying that they do it, not because that it works. Like, come on. Like, that's like 80s basketball where below 500 teams was making the playoffs. You know why? It wasn't as many teams. They were still playing 82 fucking games. So you can get there subpar. Should you? No, because you still don't have a chance in hell of winning. You just in the conversation. Barely. You just there because there are people worse than you, not because you're better.
You get to hang a banner because you won your division.
Right.
Yeah.
You still got to go through wild card and you about to get blew out by 40.
In 7 games.
In 7 games.
Well, no,
in 4. You about to get swept.
I think it was the first series was 5 games back then.
Yeah. You still about to lose in 5.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna be a close 5 either.
Yeah. Shout out to the Bucks.
The differential gonna be 15 points in your 5-game series.
Yeah.
It's not good enough, black people.
You can't even cover the spread.
Vegas is gonna eat off of you. You can't. You black people, we gotta do better. And as a black person who knows that he has to do better as a musician, I gotta get my marketing up.
When your next album? We're gonna wait till the end.
All right. I don't know, but I'm working on it. I'm back.
We're gonna wait to the end. God damn it. So we've been recording for over 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Put a bow on it. Put a bow on the bias of low expectation for black people. And Jones, when he finished, I'm gonna ask you to do the same thing.
The bias of low expectation has to stop because we're not expecting anything of ourselves because of the challenges that we have to face. But we're also condemning ourselves for failing. Like, we didn't expect anything of you anyway. But when you don't do that, we condemn you. It's like throwing your 8-year-old child in a pool and then being upset with them when they drown because they don't know how to swim. You didn't teach them. Black people, we had to put ourselves in a better position to not only succeed, but get over the hurdles that we know face us. The end.
And another thing, back to what you said earlier, which really is a lot of people don't realize is equal opportunity and equal representation ain't the same thing. We have to, I do think we deserve equal opportunity. I think representation comes with our ability. I think that's what it needs to be based on, not just because of the color of our skin or our ethnicity.
Okay. Somebody gonna see that clip and be like, that boy right there is smart.
So we about to get out of here. Any final thoughts on anything we've talked about?
Do better, black people. Stop looking at celebrities to be a voice. Be your own voice. If you want to be bigger, then be bigger. Do bigger.
Ooh. If you want to be bigger, do bigger. That resonates with me. But go ahead.
And like I always say, bro, Drink water.
But
or Pedialyte.
definitely after a hangover.
100%. Oncoming energy right there.
I feel like us as a black community, we have to take more ownership of the things we do right and wrong. We have to stop playing a victim. It's so many things that's I don't like about the black community, and I'm a part of this community, and some of the things I don't like, I do as well, that I gotta break that habit. I feel like some of it is conditioned. I feel like some of it is just a damn excuse. And I feel like, and I'm speaking to the black people because I am black. Can't speak for the other folks because black people are quick to say, well, this group of people do the same thing. We not focus on them. I feel like we need to focus on what's in front of us and not what's around us. When it in regards when it comes to like taking ownership, like it's just
accountability,
and in every aspect, like it's just I do feel like black people are different. I feel like God made us different. I feel like we really are superior when it comes to a lot of things, but we don't view ourselves like that. And I think we need to start in a statement.
Facts.
I agree with everything y'all done said. So before we officially sign off, one thing that we like to do that we haven't done in a while because we haven't recorded in a while is a mental health check. So we haven't recorded this show in 4 months. It's been even longer since y'all have been on the show. So mentally, mental health wise, how are y'all doing? And we still in November. November is Men's Mental Health Month.
They don't
we
know
all
that.
men. Well, they know it now. Mentally, how are y'all doing? Matter of fact, November, the last day of November at day of recording, the last day of November is tomorrow. So how has November or up? I guess how has this year been up to November? How's this year been to y'all?
Truthfully, it could have been a lot better mental health wise.
We'll say 1 to 10 right now. Where you at?
I'm gonna give you a number. So if I'm ranking the year from January to now,
okay.
Time of recording,
I want to know January to now overall, and then just right now, how are you? Because the answer could be different. Go ahead.
Well, January to now is gonna be my overall because whatever happened in the past, that shit gone. Like the way y'all feeling back
type shit.
My mental back in 2018, I don't care about it because I can't do nothing about it. So January to now is the current and the overall. So, 4.9. But that's from January to now.
You need to talk, bro.
Nah,
You sure?
because a lot of it is my fault.
Is it? Oh boy, we said that a while ago. So is it? Is it 4.9, and you on your way up? You on your way down, or is it a plateau?
It's definitely on the increase.
Okay,
But like I said, the reason it's so low is I feel like
it's a lot of it your fault.
a lot of it is my fault.
Okay,
Probably all of it, to be honest.
okay.
Your fault in the fact of
I can
what?
do better. And my mental, if I feel bad or if I'm not in a good mental space, it's because I'm not doing the things I need to do to change that. So sometimes I will wallow in the the depression
Facts.
as opposed to taking action. So 4.9 is the rating, but I'm the reason for the rating. And the reason it's going up now is because
you making changes and
yeah.
gotcha.
I would say I'm about a 6.5. I feel good. Most days are happy, but to his point, you know, when I get down, I be down.
Down.
And it's not that, and I don't be severely down, but I have an issue getting up out of that space. Like if somebody pissed me off, I'm pissed off. And it takes me a while to not be pissed off. And that's something that I need to work on.
Yeah.
Cause like what I do is I try to distract myself from being pissed off, but that don't make me not pissed off. Like if I get on a game, play a game of 2K for an hour, you know, that I'm escaping being pissed off because I'm focused on something else. But if I see you again, I'm still upset with you.
If I'm pissed off at you,
I'm pissed off. If I'm pissed off at you, I'm still pissed off at you. I can't just get over shit. And that's a problem in most facets, but also people have to learn to be a little bit more understanding about the fact that you just pissed them off. Or right. Like people always say that, you know, you show your true colors when you're upset, but you just pissed me off. Pissed off isn't my true colors. My true colors was before you pissed me off, but you pissed me off.
Yeah.
But
so how I felt about you before I was pissed off at you is not the same as how I feel now.
Same as how I feel now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but back to the point, I have to get better of maneuvering my emotions out of that. Like I have to do better of getting out of that type of space. But I'm a strong 6.5. It's been a good year for me. But I've just been holding myself back, staying in places that I don't need to be emotionally.
I'm gonna say from January to now.
I want to preface what you're about to say with the fact that you got black Air Forces on.
That has nothing to do with it.
All right.
That has little to do with with what I'm about to say. If I'm taking the year as a whole, right? The year as a whole, I would probably be about where you are. What's that, 6.9?
6.5.
6.5. The year as a whole, I would probably say 6.5. But right now, November 23, 29th, 28th?
28. No, it's the 20. Yeah, it's the 28th.
29th.
It's the 29th.
It's definitely
the 29th. Oh, the last day is tomorrow.
So today, November 29th, I might be closer to Jones. You said a 4.9. I might just be a 4. But it's a 4 going up. Within the past couple weeks, I've dealt with some things, and I mean, y'all know me. Y'all know my general disposition. I'm usually pretty down. Give or take a few moments, but the past couple weeks, I've dealt with some stuff that has really brought me down, but I've also in them past couple weeks have made some changes that are taking me up. Now I'm not about to, unalive myself.
Right.
But that's just, I'm a 4, but it's a 4 going up. I feel things changing. I feel like the changes that I'm making in my life will pay off and will take me to, newer heights, as they say.
Right.
But at the same time, a 4 is a 4.
Right.
Like I wake up pissed off pretty much every day. But I know how to, and this is something that I feel like that
as a non-morning person,
yeah.
It don't take a lot to piss me off in the morning.
So here's the thing. No matter the time of day, it takes a lot to piss me off, but it don't take a lot. It don't take a lot for me to get annoyed. But it's just the compound effect of the shit that I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
That adds to the pissivity. That has me feeling the way I feel. But I still know how to compartmentalize and not let it affect other shit.
Yeah.
Right. With that being said, with this being Men's Mental Health Month and just mental health in general, people that's watching / listening to this, if you are under a 5 or 6 or 7 and you feel like you just need to get some shit out, feel free to hit us up. Well, hit the podcast channel, but hit me up with your grievances. You know, sometimes you just need to get shit off your chest.
Right.
You don't need a response. You don't need somebody else's opinion.
Right.
You just need to get the shit out.
Right.
If you are in that space, feel free to hit us up. Even if it's just to put it out in the universe and let the universe or let God deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to hit us up and let that shit out. But I feel like this was a great episode for us to come back with. I feel like we talked about some good shit. Y'all gave some great opinions. Have y'all enjoyed yourself today?
I have. I always enjoy myself when I come here.
Because you get to be free. Yeah. you get to talk shit about whoever you want to talk about.
Hey, look, anybody can call an ISO on this show. John, you, me.
Who the fuck is John?
He told me.
Oh.
All right, bro.
We don't call that nigga John. That's why it threw me off.
I get it.
It threw me off. But well, I don't call him John. Some other niggas might. But go ahead.
The Jack State niggas call me John. Not you. I'm saying the niggas I used to fuck with Jack State.
But, you know, this is a great platform for getting your shit off.
And you know what? And I'm glad you said that.
Pause.
If you don't want to hit us up, but you know what I'm saying, if you don't want to hit us up on some mental health shit, but you want a space to get your shit off,
this is the place.
You might come on the show.
Jacktown Classix DMs is the place to get your shit off, and you might get an invite.
Might. You might. You're right. You might. Depending on what you talk about. But go ahead.
What you look like?
That ain't the only criteria. Because to be fair, both of y'all are niggas. So if we going off what you look like, y'all niggas would have been wherever you was before you came.
It's an invisible bad bitches only sign in the room.
Yeah.
The only sign in this room.
He got flipped around.
The only sign in this room says. The only sign in this room says Jacktown Classix established 1821.
Type shit.
That's the only sign in this room.
And it changed color. For y'all girls who like purple.
Y'all will be able to see the effects. Yeah.
I know it's a lot of women out there that like purple and yellow. So
you could have left that where you had it. You could have left that where you had it, brother.
But yeah, it's always a good time coming on this show. And this is the platform where you can be honest, but you don't have to, necessarily divulge. You know what I mean? Like, you could be honest.
So here's the thing about this show. You can be as honest as you want to be.
Cause that nigga
you can
James,
divulge. You can divulge as much as you want. It's up to me whether the shit get out or not.
Cause that nigga James.
Man, shout out to my nigga James.
Shout out to James, man. Shout out to James. That nigga give it up. Every episode, bro. He give it up, bro.
And Clyde could not be here today. They had other obligations. That's why we got Jones and Deshaun in here.
Shout out Clyde and James.
This ain't no pivot and I am athlete shit where them niggas broke up and all of that. They just
it happened really suddenly too, like randomly as fuck, didn't it? That nigga Brandon out there by himself.
But
that just freelance.
No shade at them because they all thriving. But
that CTE got to them and niggas was decided like, yeah, I can't fuck with this nigga no more.
Man, somebody need to get James Winston. I know that nigga got CTE.
So let's
don't do that to
my. We're finna wrap it up.
Nigga, that's my quarterback.
We finna wrap it up.
That's what I'm saying.
We're finna wrap it up. So
Fuck that nigga.
We already covered the final thoughts. Where can the people find y'all if they would like to indulge in some of y'all's content or indulge in you?
You can find me at I Love Tap Water on Instagram.
Can you spell that?
I_LUV Tap Water.
Jackson Tap?
Yes. Jackson Tap give you strong bones
Louisiana Tap
and
is
strong immune system.
Louisiana Tap is crazy.
And mesothelioma, guys.
You be immune to that shit, yeah.
Louisiana Tap is crazy.
We ain't talking about
But
Louisiana.
you can find me. That's my little personal account. If you want to find some drink reviews,
If you want to find out how to make Hennessy taste better,
check out Tapped In Reviews.
here we go.
All platforms.
All 3,000 episodes.
Right.
I think I've only did 92.
Okay.
I am.
Deshaun, where can they find you, brother?
You can find me on Instagram at IamMusic, IAM_MUZICK. You can also find me on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, whatever streaming platform you choose.
When your album coming out?
I can't give you a date, but I can tell you that I'm back and I'm working on it.
I'll take it. I'll take that. Y'all can find me at 95 IISSX. I mainly be on Instagram, but you can find me other places on that. I mean, with that handle. And James and Clyde info will be in the description if you watching this on YouTube, which you probably are because I don't listen to that shit. Any final remarks before we get up out of here?
Drink water.
Please. Or Pedialyte.
We don't need you niggas out here trying to fuck on bitches and your piss is burning through the ceramic toilet bowl. Cause that's how you.
If your nut tastes like battery acid to your girl, that means you need to. I've heard some stories from women about the different flavors of nut.
She out here drinking McDonald's Sprite at 3 a.m.
Man, listen, McDonald's Sprite, when they changing shifts from dinner to breakfast,
you know they ain't cleaned the machine out.
Your nut tastes like a McCafe. You need to change something with your hydration, brother. And that's just a tip. That's a free one.
If your piss is orange, nigga,
man, listen.
You got to make some changes.
Niggas out here piss be gold.
Literally, bro.
But whatever. Jones, you got any final remarks? Well,
stop drinking Hennessy. That's his remark.
Hey, shut your ass. Ain't no if.
That monkey show got that nigga gone.
I'm taking. We back. Jacktown Classix is back. It may not always be me, James, and Clyde. It may not always be me. But Jacktown Classix is back.
Ain't you the host?
No, we all the hosts. But I'm saying anybody can come over here and push a button. You know what I'm saying? But
don't let me get up there. Don't let me sit on the throne.
I won't. But the point is, one way or another, we back. And we plan on being back for the foreseeable future until shit blow up. So again, if you got a mental health issue, you need to let that shit out. Hit us up.
Make sure you download these episodes too, because to his point, when the internet blows up and you don't have nothing but yourself to play with,
right,
you're gonna need something to listen to.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Once you, it's still No Nut November as the day of recording, because this shit probably gonna come out in December, but the day of recording is still No Nut November. You need something to take your mind off that non nuts you've been getting.
I think your voice will make me not nut. So
That's fine. That's great.
Disgusting.
That is great. Don't. Hey, in the words of Kamala Harris, do not come. Do not come. But in the words of Donald Trump, I'm gonna come.
All right, bro.
Yeah. Rolling. I said we rolling. I remember bitches used to play me lame, and I still am. But now they wanna let me hit, and I still can, but choose not. I'd rather y'all blow me like a fuse box before my hands slide up your leg like a tube sock. A few thoughts said that they had crushes. That sure is convenient now that your ass half busted like a frozen Coke, baby. Did you overdose on eating? Baby daddy whooping your ass and overdosed on beating? I used to do the same thing to my wee-wee back when I saw you. Dick was so hard it looked like I was pitching a TP. Girl, I'm sorry that you ain't choose King, and I'm sorry that the sweeter things in life ain't always good as they seem. Girl, I'm sorry that your grass ain't green, and I'm sorry that you did all of them things that your ass ain't mean. Used to be stuck up, I bet you now your ass ain't mean. With 3 kids in a bad way scene, damn, you could've balled for free, baby, like a nigga with no draws. I'm sorry if you feel exposed, cause bitch, I told y'all, I dialed up a piece of bread, yeah, this a roll call. Hey, this for all them hoes that stuffed on me and dozed off. And needless to say, when I sprouted, I came back for all them bitches who ain't water me and bitches who doubted. When the rain came, it was too cloudy. This for the ones frowning and hunching their shoulders, the bitches who pouted. I'm rolling.